Okay, so we are doing things a little different. So I'm actually going to interview Cian Noble today. She is an author. Normally we're going to do this on Spotlight Saturdays for authors, but I am in the process of moving and I can't find my, what am I thinking of? My tablet charger. So I am adding in author and I'm really excited. So the reason why we want to start doing these video calls is to give readers the chance to actually interact and meet and see the authors who like to hide behind their pages. There's a couple of authors I talk to, and ARC read, which if you don't know what that is, that's an advanced reader copy. Sometimes they don't like getting up in front of readers, and this gives them a safe space in order to talk to us. I've got some fun questions. We're going to I'm trying to while user is connected. Okay, she's connecting, so we're working this out. And this is the first one. So it's going to be a little rough while I figure this out. I also do have 2 under 2. Let's see if we can get... I added her, so I think she's adding. We're working on it, people. I'm sorry. But yeah, we want to welcome everybody. Let me add her again. Yay, it worked!
I don't remember how to do this.
Okay, well, let's start.
Okay.
Everyone, this is Cian Noble, and I am so excited to meet you, like, face to face.
So, I'm excited to meet you. I love seeing all of your posts because I get to see a part of your personality. You're just so fun and flamboyant, and I love it.
So can you, let's start off with just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you write, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, I write epic fantasy. I think I've written epic fantasy for nearly 30 years now. In fact, the book, my debut novel, The Orphaned King, it came out last June. It was a 27-year project. I started writing it when I was 13, and so it evolved, characters evolved, places evolved, and it's good, but there's still pieces that I miss. But anyway, they might make a comeback in short story versions. But anyway, I've written just that. I'm working on a couple more projects. I'm heading co-hosting the Stuff Your Kindle Fantasy Edition with I know a bunch of authors, but really my credentials basically are just I have a degree in fun and that I self-gave myself. I I love to laugh. I love humor. I love action and adventure, and I like cliffhangers, but I also like closed endings. So I kind of go back and forth on things like that. So yeah, I'm a mom. First and foremost, a wife and a mother. I have 6 children, and I'm a nana. I have 2 grandchildren, and I devote quite a bit of my time to them, except for recently when I decided to host the Stuff Your Kindle. That I have now devoted myself to over 360 authors. So,
thank you, baby. Well, so my quick annotated questions just got decorated. And ripped. So one of the first questions was actually going to be, when did you start writing? How did you know you wanted to be an author? Like, what got this started?
Oh, I have been writing since my first book was actually a picture book. I did it when I was 3. I have been writing and drawing since I was 3 years old. It was just built into me. I had I just have always had stories to tell. I went through some stuff throughout, my life. I've gone through different things, and I needed a retreat, and writing was that retreat. I got to build relationships and go on adventures and just escape for a while. So, yeah, it's just been a part of my life from the get-go.
Okay. How did you get started? Like, was it just all you figuring it out on your own, or was it the retreat, or did a teacher push you to do it?
I was a closet writer
Okay.
for many, many years. My mother and my dad, my family knew I would write, things, and I would share every once in a while, but not a lot of people really knew. And then a girlfriend of mine who ended up being a mentor later, she was a closet writer as well. And she found the courage to publish her first book.
Okay.
And I just really admired her for it. And thought, you know what? If she's brave, maybe I can do it too. I started querying mine. She went the traditional way, and I was like, well, I'll start querying. I actually got probably 400 rejections my first go around. And I thought, okay, that's okay. It just means not right now. Plus, I was a young mom at the time. And so I, juggling kids and trying to have an author career, it's not the easiest. So I just kept writing, kept building up my craft, learning things. And I reached out to this girlfriend of mine, and I said, hey, I think I'm ready. What do I need to know? And she said, well, if you want, you can indie publish. And I said, what's an indie? What is that? I don't know what that is. And so it was just a crash course, and I'm so grateful for her. And she really pushed me. I'm a high functioning introvert, and so I want to go out to like creative writing hubs and things like that. I was like, I'm just too bashful. And when you write something and you've held it so close to your heart for so long, criticism can come hard. But I found some amazing beta readers who I still keep in contact with today. They're incredible. I love them. And I found a great editor, and yeah, it was just kind of, the whole thing was just learning the whole way and taking notes. It felt like going back to school, quite honestly. I have notepads upon notepads of keeping information. So,
All right. So, what was the first book you ever read that you still read today that you fell in love with?
Gulliver's Travels. I love Gulliver's Travels. I fell in love with that. That was one of my very first adventures that way. But I also kind of with Nancy Drew. I grew up reading the Nancy Drew series, and the Hardy Boys. So yeah, those are always my go-tos.
Okay. What's your current read?
My current read, so I'm working on projects, so I try not to read while I'm working.
Okay.
But I have started a book, and it's another indie author. Her name is Jen Woodrum, and she wrote When Death is Watching and When Coming. And I recently bought both of them, and I have them on my indie shelf. They're there. They're waiting for me. I started reading book one and had to put a book in it because I just can't. I can't read and write at the same time.
I mean, that makes sense. And I'm sorry for the feral toddler in the background.
No, you're totally fine.
Okay. Do you ever DNF books?
You know what? It would take a lot.
Okay.
It would a lot for me to go, nope, not my thing. I do the same thing with everything. I appreciate art in all the different forms. I grew up with artist grandfathers, parents. Art just is in our, and so I try to appreciate everything. But if it's just too overwhelming, I can't do it, then I'll set it aside. But I will never leave a bad or negative review. I just, as I don't know if that's just because I'm an author and I have a feel for it, but I just, there's I think authors are hard enough on themselves. They don't need to be reminded of it. They don't need validation that they need to work harder.
Do you like electronic books or physical? So this includes audio books for electronic.
Yeah, right. So I prefer paperback.
Okay.
I love feeling pages between my fingers. But I did recently for Christmas, I got a Kindle. And so I'm like, I love books, and if I'm gonna start getting all these free ebooks, I need somewhere to put them. So
that makes what's your favorite snack to eat while you're writing?
Oh, oh, Hershey's chocolate bars. I will just take a little square and I'll put it on my tongue and I'll just hold it there until it dissolves while I'm writing.
What's your favorite drink while you're writing?
Oh, usually water, but I'm a sucker for Dr. Pepper.
Okay. If you could be any animal, what would it be?
Are we talking mythical or real?
Any animal.
Oh, that's really hard. Like, that is really hard. I love the Enfield. They are very noble creatures and beautiful.
Hey, don't draw yourself. Sorry.
No, you're totally fine. No, I'm a mom. So, no, like I think it's hilarious because I often tell people that I think moms are just women with Tourette's because we just randomly will blurt out things like over the phone or something. And no, you're totally fine. I get it.
I wanted these interviews to be professional, but I have a feeling that this is going to just be chaos for everyone, and it's going to be a great.
No, I love it. I have 6 children, and my youngest will be 6 in July, and so I totally get it. You don't need to apologize or feel embarrassed. I love it. You know, when you're the other person, you're just glad that it's not you and your child.
Oh, this is going to be a great first video. Okay. Okay. Would you survive a zombie apocalypse? This is why I wanted to record these videos. Okay, you job it.
I watched The Walking Dead, and I'm not sure I would have much of a chance.
Some of these questions are funny, but this gives us a chance to meet you as a person. So
I love it. Keep it going.
Are tomatoes a fruit or a vegetable?
Oh, they're a vegetable because it pains me to eat it. Even though I'm going to eat it, it pains me to eat it.
What would be your dream vacation?
Oh, I'd love to tour Scotland and Ireland and
okay.
My husband and I, we've dreamed about this for 23 years. So, yeah.
If you could visit any time period and come back from it, what time period would you visit?
Well, I'd have to definitely come back because I need toilets. But I think I would love to visit the Renaissance period. I think it would be pretty cool. So,
let's see. Well, I gotta figure out. Ooh, what's your biggest fear?
I think
Thank you.
My biggest fear, if you'd asked me 23 years ago, it would have been different. It would have been like meeting a lion or something like that. But I think my biggest fear now is losing one of my kids somehow, or not being able to be in communication with my kids. I love my kids, so.
Family.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite household chore?
All of them.
There was no hesitation on that one.
No contest. No,
Okay.
I would rather be outside pulling weeds and scooping up dog crap before I get laundry dishes.
Well, so that was actually the next question is, do you have any pets?
Yes, we have a Great Pyrenees dog.
So do we.
Do you? Yes. Oh, they're beautiful dogs. And he's like a floor rug. He just is like, he's got huge saggy jowls, and he's just like, I'm just happy to be here. You know, he's just a sweetheart. I love him. His name is Anubis. And then my son has a Boston Terrier, and we have 3 cats. And I like cats, but I like him outside catching mice.
Let me try and read through the scribbles. Oh, okay. If you could pick any romantic partner from any book or TV show, who would you pick?
No content. Like Sean Connery was in the running, but he's dead now, so I can't pick him. I would go for a straight Rupert Everett or Colin Firth. I've always think that they're just dreamy guys. All the younger girls are going to be like, who's that? but that's yeah, my era, I guess.
So when I started doing these questions, I saw that and I was like, this would be a great question because you get to know like what an author like, you know, so this is a closed door book group. However, I do know we're gonna get some spicy authors, but you have people who have crushes on anything from like Sirius Black to Zane Meadows to, I mean, it's so fascinating to see the people's thought process and what they like on paper or even in movies. It's just.
No, I think if we're going movies, for sure those. If we were going for books, I don't know. I think it would have a tougher time deciding. Just with books, there's just women especially, because we know what we're missing. I think we just know how to write the dreamboat guy, right? Whether he is the villain or the protagonist, we just go, nope, here's some ideal traits. You know, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Give me a morally gray man any day.
I love my husband. He's very, very sweet. I love him.
Well, my husband was like, you're going to get on this stuff. And he's like, I don't even want to know the questions you're asking. I was like, we're just going to vibe. That's all.
Right.
If you could write a character about like any character at all, do you have one in mind right now that hasn't made it into a book?
I have a character. I'm just not quite sure what to do with it yet. It's one of the characters that you know, some characters, they just come forward really strong, and you just get clean vibes, and you just look at them and you can go, oh my gosh, okay, this, you know, and you can write down all these different characteristics. But
hold on yourself. Put it on the board, please. Sorry.
No, you're totally fine. This particular character, I think I do better with mythical, like, because I write epic. I've been in that genre for so long. It's easier for me to pick up on characters and do things with characters versus say urban or dystopian character. And I've kind of had my eye on actually paranormal character for a little while. I love the paranormal. I like watching like paranormal shows and things like that. It's just one of those, I guess, things that I just watch it. I binge watch it. But I've never felt compelled to write anything paranormal until quite recently. So, but I don't even have the start of anything. I just have a possible character. So
Sometimes that's all it takes to write a book is you've got a character and you need to get their story down.
yep. Yep.
So I have two more questions and then we can keep talking if you want, or we can end it. It's completely up to you. The next one is how do you, and this is for people who want to write and want to get into it, but how do you find your muse? Obviously, everybody's going to have different muses, but is there one way that gets you going and those gears just grinding?
Yeah. You know, I'm a procrastinator. So, and I'm a mood reader, I'm a mood writer. Everything is just, I can get just fixated. And I think that's what my issue is that I will hyper fixate.
Okay.
So if I don't have the time to sit and write or read or whatever, like go out and garden for hours, then I will push it aside, push it aside, push it aside. Because I know that once I'm there, and I don't do well with interruptions. Just, so I can do it without getting angry. Obviously, I get flustered, and it creates chaos. So, number one tool I have is earbuds, and I turn on my music, and then I just clear everything out of my mind and I start tapping keys. And most of the time, quite frankly, I don't know what I'm going to write. I just kind of go, okay, this is where I left off. Let's play around for a minute. And I just start plunking away on the keys. And eventually I go, oh, okay. And that's when ideas start to come. Usually that disruption happens. So.
As I'm getting handed markers.
And markers. You know all about interruption, don't you?
Yes, baby. We have a couple more questions. We're almost done. Okay, so this is probably one of my favorite questions that I came up with. We're gonna end all of our videos with this one,
Okay.
from me at least. Is what's a question that you wish a fan would ask, and what would be the answer?
Oh, that's really hard because I have purposely put off book signings. I haven't had one book signing. And it's because I get the you're not good enough, if nobody's gonna show up, nobody's gonna care, it's just, and to avoid being disappointed, I just avoid being a target altogether.
Yeah.
But if ever a question did pop up a different way, that's really hard. I think maybe if somebody asked me if I thought that it was worth it, or they were wanting to do it but wanted to know if it was worth it, I'd say 100%. Your book isn't going to be 9 times out of 10. Your first book is gonna suck. It's not going to be good. And I've heard a lot of authors say this, a lot of well-known authors say this, and traditionally published. Your first book is to get you in the door. It's basically, it's for you. It's to give you the courage to go forward and do more. I think placing yourself within a group of individuals who support each other and uplift is key. So if you want to do it, do it. Don't let the voices, see, I'm telling myself this. Don't let the voices in your head tell you that you can't do something or that you can't achieve your goals, because you can. If you want it bad enough, you're going to do it. So
that's good. That's why I wanted this question to be last, because we'll get people who, and each author is different. Like I can envision, there's a book I'm reading right now that I'm seeing different little things as I'm reading it, and I'm talking to my friend, and I was like, did you notice this in the book? And she was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
So, I think the author put it in there for certain reasons, but maybe a fan hasn't asked that question, and the author's like, sitting there behind the keyboard going, I put this in the book for the reason, and nobody's asked me about it. So that's why I wanted to ask, because and please don't take this the wrong way, but I have told a couple of the authors that I agreed for that y'all are wet, slimy cats, and trying to get you to do book signings, or the fact you're doing this interview is huge. And it puts a face and a real person behind the books. You all give us an escape from reality.
Yeah.
And I don't think people really realize, like readers realize, that authors go through so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're a wet, slimy cat.
Well, I'm glad I could be that.
And I mean that with love, but it's, is there anything you want to talk about? Is there any questions you want to ask? Is there anything you think that this video needs for the interview? Because it's going to get posted on social media.
Well, in that case, no. No, I think Miranda, I think you did great, and this was a lot of fun. I was glad to be a part of it, and I'm glad to be a part of the closed door group. And yeah, I'm just reached a point in my life where I'm just unapologetically me anymore, and I'm getting more courage. I think not having, I still have a younger son, but I have older kids now that can help. So I'm getting a little more brave at doing things and going and doing things. But no, it means a lot. You doing these interviews, they mean a lot to us authors. I mean, you talk about how much it means to readers seeing authors as real people, but it means a lot to us authors, just because sometimes it's the pick me up that we needed. I watch a lot of author interviews, and I think sometimes we forget to just relax and just go with the flow and just be ourselves. But I have no problem with it. I'm I'm completely open. If anybody had questions or anything like that for me, I'd be completely open, and I'd answer. Sometimes I put my foot in my mouth. I'm one of those people that that'll speak before I think, and then I go, some thoughts are inside thoughts, and that's why, like, emails and private messaging, I'm grateful for those, because it gives me a minute to write something and then go, does that look right? Like, I like, did I say something that could be misconstrued or offensive? Because I don't want to be that way. It's just sometimes I'm like, okay, here you go. But, oh no! I'm like, no, that's not what I meant.
Well, so I'm hoping to do an author week of interviewing. Get a range of authors, kind of just help expand.
Yeah.
I know I've done a couple of posts about how important art reading is, and the KU stuff. Like, and for people watching, KU is Kindle Unlimited. So it's I'm hoping to bring this more professional. So in like 6 months, once I figure it all out, we'll probably have you on here again.
Sounds great.
And just retry it because this is a learning lesson for me too. But I'm just tickled that I got an author who wants to interview.
Oh no, this was super fun. I thought it was so cute. You're like, you've been selected as tribute, and I'm like, I've been what? And I had to go back and read it.
Well, because I was trying to find somebody and you got volunteered, and I was like, gotcha. Oops. Well, and so for the people who will be watching this, I got started with all of this with Harper Lynn, and I kind of stalked her enough that she was like, "Fine."
Yes. So you beta read for Harper?
I arc read for her,
Okay.
and I bugged the snot out of her so much that I've kind of wiggled my way into her life. Um, and I talked to her quite a bit. Like I've given her some ideas on some of her books and asked questions about her books, and it's small things like the multi-book universe that they're doing right now with all the other authors. My mom reads just as much as I do, and we were asking, are they going to do like book club questions in the back of the book? Because I've discovered those are even for just standalone books. They are so smart for authors to do
Wow.
because I'll send book suggestions to my book club.
Yeah.
And then we get there and we're trying to talk about it, but we don't have pointed questions. So we're like, "Did you like the book?" "Yeah, we did." "Oh, well, what happened?" Like, so doing questions like that is so small, but it
Yeah.
helps.
So are
Also,
you
sorry for the noise. There's
talking,
construction
are
going
you
on.
talking about the anthology that she's put, like, just decided to put together,
No,
or
no,
separate comfort or separate? Very very cool.
separate.
Really like that book club idea. That is super smart.
It's well, and so I'm also trying to work with other people I know who ARC read because I didn't realize authors only get 10% back from ARC readers. That is so silly.
Yeah,
They,
I sent out 50 arcs and I got one review.
oh. Yeah, no, that's not okay. Like this needs to be fixed.
I saw other authors, Kayla and different authors sending out hundreds of arcs, and I'm like, I wonder what percentage they're getting back. But I went and I looked at Kayla Ann's, and she got a great number. Now, granted, I kind of threw myself into this. I didn't have an author following really too much beforehand, so that was to my detriment. Um, but yeah, it's really hard because they're just life situations come up, and it's understandable. And quite frankly, if they didn't like the book, who wants that review?
There
But
are ways to do reviews on, I mean, I've read books I didn't like, and I have still left great reviews because
yeah,
that you guys are doing a service for us. It's an art, it's a passion. The least we can do is provide some feedback. Even
yeah,
if it's just I liked the characters and the way you described them. If even if it's that's just that, or the sentence structure was correct, or the grammar was correct.
yeah.
Like,
Pollyanna, just give them the good things.
yeah. But no, so I'm working with people for ARC readers as well, trying to, because it burns my britches that y'all don't get the feedback you need, and a lot of people are just like, well, authors are doing this, like this is what they do. A lot of these indie authors have to have other jobs because you all don't make enough selling books.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious. I'll see occasionally an author will be brave enough to take a picture, a screenshot of their report off of Amazon of their sales, and they're like, "Look, I made $15 this month," and I'm like, "She made $15? How did she make $15?" I got 2 cents. Somebody read half a page in KU. I'm like, it's just, and it just they keep getting tighter and tighter. Authors are getting paid less and less with all of these new features that they're saying, oh, these are new features that'll help you, so that we're going to charge you more. We're going to take more of your, your commissions off or your money off of that. And we're like, okay.
Well, and so that is hey.
I think it's great, Miranda, what you're doing. It helps tremendously. Just you spreading word and using the resources that you have, it helps authors all the time. It really does a lot, and I commend you for doing this. It's wonderful.
Well, so I'm going to post your link to your book on my social media as well as underneath this live. So hopefully people will go buy your book. Go buy books. Um, I mean, if we get enough people to buy it, you'll start getting better reviews. The little things can add up. But I will say to everybody who's going to watch this live, if you have an author who you liked their KU book, please go buy it if you can afford it, because that helps the authors just as much as downloading and reading.
Yeah.
And then I can't believe we actually did that. Like, this is the first interview in it. I think it went well.
I loved it. Got a lot of good laughs out of it, and you were very professional. Yes.
Oh, thank you. As I'm yelling at a feral toddler. So everybody keep a lookout, and I will start posting all those links, and hopefully I can get this video to post to my actual Facebook page as well, and do all that fun stuff. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate this.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.